Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see that how can you use the command prompt to actually execute some of your Python scripts. Now there are two ways through which we can use the command prompt to execute our Python scripts. But first of all, what we need to do is we actually need to set the path in our environment variables. Now this path is actually going to be the place where our Python is installed. So if you I have already copied this path, and actually this is the path where your Python is installed. So once you install the Python from the internet, then this is the path, or this is the place where this Python is going to be installed. You just need to go to this place and need to copy this whole path. Then once you have done copying it, you can come to this PC, right click and go to properties. Now in the properties, you need to go to advanced system settings, and from here you can go to environment variables. Now these environment variables are simple variables which help to execute the common functions in a computer system. If we just move to this variable named as path, then you can click on edit. Now since I have been using Python on my PC for a long time, this path is already present there. But what you need to do is you need to just paste this path. Let me show you how. You can click on new, and here you can just press Ctrl V to paste this path. Then this path would be recognized as a valid path for your Python variables. Now since this is already present, so I'm going to click on delete because I do not need it again. Then you can click on OK, and you can just close these windows. Now what is the significance of this? The significance of this is that whenever we are trying to execute any of the functions in the command prompt, or any of the Python scripts in the command prompt, then being the path variable set to that particular path, command prompt recognizes that whatever instructions we are providing to it are actually Python variables or the Python instructions. So let's see how can we do that. So first of all, we need to go to our command prompt. So that's our command prompt. Let's open it. And now what we need to do is set our path to the same thing which we set in our path variable, or where our Python was installed. So for that purpose, we have a command known as cd, which is actually the change directory command. And once you specify that, you can put a space after that and just press Ctrl V to paste that particular path. Now when you press enter, what would happen is that this path is actually set as the current path in your command prompt. Now your command prompt recognizes this as a valid path, and whatever instructions you provide to your command prompt would be executed in this particular path. So the first thing that you need to do is check which version of Python is installed in your PC. The simple approach behind this is that if Python is installed in your PC, you will be able to see its version, but if it is not installed, you will get an error. So how can we check the version? Simply press Python space and type in version like this, and when you press enter, Python is installed in my PC with this version 3.8.1. So this means that yes, Python is installed in my PC. Next thing is, if you want to show your Python terminal in the command prompt, then how can you do that? Simply you need to type in Python, and when you press enter, this is a Python terminal that is opened in your command prompt. Now whatever the functions were possible through the terminal, you can do it over here. Like you can write print statements. So let's write print Python, and yes, Python is printed. You can use simple mathematical operations such as 1 plus 3, 7 minus 4, 3, and so on. Okay, so now if you want to come out of this Python terminal, how can you do that? Use the exit function. Simply write exit, then open and close the parenthesis, and you would be able to exit from the terminal back to the command prompt. Now there is another usage of the command prompt, that is, it can be used to execute the Python files. So we are going to see that how can we create a Python file using a notepad, and then we are going to execute it through the command prompt. So this is our notepad file. Let's open it, and we can write any of the Python scripts that we want. So a simple Python script is actually a print statement, right? So we are going to write hello world, and the next printed statement is going to be in the notepad. Okay, so these are the two print statements that I'm going to write, but you can write any number of statements, and it is not mandatory to write any print statement. You can write any of the valid Python statements. Then once you have written, you can go to file to save it in the same place where your path was set, that is at this place. Now once you are at this place, you can give it any name, like I'm going to name it hello. The mandatory thing is you need to give it an extension of .py. So you need to mention .py after every Python file name to make sure that it is recognized as a Python file and not a text file. Once you have done this, you can click on save, and you can see its name is changed to hello. Then let's come back to our command prompt and try to execute this file. So this is a Python file. We know that, but command prompt doesn't know that. So to make sure that command prompt also recognizes it as a Python file, we need to specify Python first, then we need to put a space, and then we need to write its full name, that is hello.py. Now as soon as we press enter, what happens? We get these two lines of output because these were the two print statements that we wrote in that notebook file. That's why we have got this output. If we had written a number of statements, we would have got the corresponding output. So that is how you can actually execute the Python files by actually writing the Python scripts in Notepad and executing them through command prompt. So that is all for the video. Thanks for watching.